Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm John.
And we're the co-founders of Handsome Frank Illustration Agency.
In this series, we'll be sitting down and talking to our illustrators, finding out more about them, their artistic process, and the creative industry we work in.
Welcome to our podcast. Good morning. Guillaume Kurkdjian.
Yeah.
Is that well pronounced?
I don't even know. Kurkdjian, I said. My father.
Okay.
Kurkdjian.
Kurkdjian.
We were going to do a big intro, Tom.
What, was that not good enough?
No, that's great. Well, I think we should set the scene a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we're in a very sunny apartment on the 5th floor of a building in Paris in the 20th arrondissement.
Right.
It's beautiful here. So much light coming in. And yeah, we've come to see Guillaume, who we have worked with for 10 years.
Yeah, we were looking the other day.
Yeah.
It's it's been a while, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And I looked through the original email thread.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when because some of our artists, we discovered them, and then others, they discovered us. There's always been a bit of a mixture of both. But I emailed you in 2015, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And there was quite a long conversation back and forth. I've got to be honest, you were kind of...
You weren't that interested.
No. It took a bit of persuasion.
Yeah, because at the time I didn't know much about the illustration world. It just came to me so randomly. So I didn't know you guys or anything.
No.
And I had another proposal at the same time. It became crazy. So I was like, who are those guys?
So what was where were you at that point in life? Were you had been to university? Had you studied illustration or?
Yeah, no. So in 2015, I got out from. So actually, I went to a business school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was after high school. I didn't know what to do. I did this illustration on the side, but it was really not something I could see as a real future for me as for work. So I went to this not great business school, and I did.
Is that the not great business school?
Yeah, that's
a great name.
That's cool name.
I feel like even before you went there, you knew that business wasn't for you.
Yeah, probably. But there was a lot of different topics and notions, and also philosophy and some stuff. It was really interesting, but all the internship I did were in advertising agencies, like assistant and all. And just the last year, I started to, because I was posting a lot of projects online in animation and illustration, but nothing really worked before. But the last year of my school, it got a bit crazy online, and I got a lot of interviews and post in a lot of different medias. So I started to get my first contract. And so I went to see the director of the school, and I asked if I could just create my business instead of doing the last year. It was like a full year of internship. So I did that.
So they let you set up a freelance illustration business as your final project?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It was really those years. I guess maybe 1 year later, I settled in Paris. And I guess you guys wrote to me at this time.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a set of illustrations that you created, and it was like there was a 3D fax machine.
Yeah.
Different modes of transport, telephones, things like that. All kind of communication related.
It was really like simple, but at the time, you didn't see that. It was a bit rare to see that kind of style, and nowadays it's everywhere, but at the time it was a bit more...
But when did you first start playing around with 3D software? So I mean, all of your work, originally I know you did some stuff in Photoshop, but you've been using 3D for
actually
a long time.
In middle school, my brother was doing this 3D stuff, and I was like, let's try this, and I got really curious, and he dropped out, and I continued.
Is this your older brother or younger?
Older.
Older.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's always older brothers, isn't it?
Ah, yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
always
yeah.
want to know what your older
Yeah.
brother's up to.
He was doing karate and a lot of crazy stuff. I was like, oh wow, I'm so impressed. He's 7 years older than me. So I continued doing 3D. Then I stopped for years, and when I started to go back to illustration, I started with Illustrator. So vectors and isometric stuff. And then because of the client
Did
needs-
Illustrator even have 3D mode in it?
Yeah, that's right. It was not really.
Yeah, it was really basic.
Yeah. No, actually I was doing everything by hand, not by hand, but
Yeah.
just copying. I didn't use any 3D functionality on Illustrator. And then because the client needed some real 3D, I guess, I started to study that
So that
again.
was 3D Studio Max?
It was 3ds Max when I was in middle school, and I discovered recently. I saw the first thing I ever did in 3D. It was a ball,
Yeah.
like a ball linked to a video projector that was projecting the texture of the ball on a wall, and
Okay.
that's it.
It's nice.
How
But
long did
what
it
I-
take you?
I don't know. It was terrible. I don't know why I did.
What I find really interesting, like to anyone that has ever opened up a 3D program like 3D Studio Max, Cinema 4D, you're just presented with it's kind of Photoshop on steroids. There are so many buttons, so many settings.
Yeah.
It can be incredibly overwhelming, and it's also I think kind of naturally it's quite an uncreative piece of software to use, and I really admire that even at a very young age you were able to kind of inject your ideas and your creativity into that kind of 3D software.
But it took some time.
Yeah.
At first, it was really poor, but I guess it's like everything when you start to see behind all those buttons, all those things because you use like 10% or maybe 1% of the possibilities of the software. But then from 3ds Max, I passed to Cinema 4D, and it became really easier.
So did you go from a PC to a Mac?
Yeah, I did that as well.
Is
And
that
we-
just because Macs were nice and shiny and cool?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. And then I couldn't go back.
Yeah, I did the same. I
I
was at uni on a PC, and then everyone just Macs just kind of lured you over because they just looked really nice.
But for the 3D artist community, it's like, what are you using a Mac for to do 3D? It's like blasphemy. But also, I went back to, because at the time when I started, there was not real-time rendering. So you put all your render settings, all your light, your stuff, and then you just click render, and you waited for 1 or 2 minutes to see the image.
Okay.
And you're like, oh no, there's something wrong. So you have to change something, and then you render again. Like, that was not. It could take a lot of time. And not so long ago, a few years ago, it was the new era of real-time rendering. So nowadays, while I'm doing all the settings, I see live the changes, and I move my camera, and everything is updating in real time. This is when it feels like I'm a grandpa explaining this, because for young people it's like, oh, you are doing this, what the and so yeah, it got really easier. And also now I'm if I would start now, I would use Blender, because the community is huge, and you can get in 1 week what it took years for me to go.
And do you think you would kind of go back and learn that, or is it?
The thing is, the interface, the layout is a bit annoying to me.
I think there's definitely an age thing where you're just so willing to learn new software.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you get to the thought for me, who's it, like the new versions of Photoshop, the thought of moving over and having to learn all the keyboard shortcuts and stuff again, I just can't do that.
Yeah, but actually, when you, it's like a new language. Like I met a girl, my girlfriend. She's from Venezuela, so I learned Spanish. It was the same kind of past 30 years old, and I'm trying to learn something that big in my brain. It's like how to make it fit.
Oh, that's good.
But it's working at some point.
So how is your Spanish now?
I have B1 level officially. I passed my,
Officially?
Yeah.
So how are you learning? You going to language school or are you...
Yeah, I had a professor online.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah. It was really something else that Duolingo, because Duolingo you can see the the limits really quick.
I'm struggling with Duolingo.
Yeah,
as you know, I'm trying to learn French.
that's it.
And you, I posted. We arrived in Paris on Wednesday night, and I posted a picture with Tom and wrote a little Spanish, wrote a French caption, and Guillaume very kindly corrected my French.
Yeah.
So Duolingo is not working for me, clearly.
But it's not the perfect tool for when you want to go further. But I love that you're training. I can help you with that.
I think you've got to keep, like you say, it develops different parts of your brain, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and
really.
it's good to kind of keep challenging yourself and keep trying to open up those pathways, I guess.
Yeah, and you're never too. My teacher, she told me, even my 80 years old dad could learn it. It's just you learn different ways when you're young. You learn everything.
Well, your
by
brain
heart.
is very malleable, isn't it?
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
younger, and language language kind of just goes straight in, which is why kids can become really easily bilingual.
But then when you get older, you just learn more intelligent, like more smart. So you don't have to learn everything, but the useful things.
Yeah.
And then when I start to talk with my girlfriend's friends, it's like so. I feel like I have a superpower.
It just clicks one day. Yeah.
It's so cool.
So you guys, what do you speak at home? Do you speak English, Spanish, or French?
No, it's French.
Okay.
Because she speaks French better than me. Like she's so she has an accent, but like it's so yeah, we speak French, and sometimes we are trying to do these Spanish sessions. And this summer I'm gonna meet the whole family in Italy.
Oh wow!
They're coming for
good.
the holidays, and I'm gonna.
I think English people are kind of fascinated by people that can speak so many languages.
Oh yeah.
Because we're just so bad at learning languages.
Yeah, because you don't have to.
Yeah, but yeah, we were talking to people about this yesterday, and it's the fact that there's all the TV we watch growing up is in English. Music is in English. So we're just it's all English. But
Well, we should probably talk about why we're in Paris as well.
yes,
While we're on this.
yes.
So we came over yesterday for Le Book Connections at Pavilion Gabriel.
I don't know. I just followed you.
It was a very
nice
venue down near the Champs-Élysées. But that was great, and we met lots of clients.
So Le Book is an event where they basically so in the past we would come to Paris and we have this incredibly heavy suitcase full of all of our portfolios, and we would for years we'd been taking it around all many cities around the world and going to meet clients and show them our lovely illustrators' work. But Le Book kind of flips that model, and all the clients arrive in one building. And we get given a table along with other companies. Yesterday we met, I would say, a good sort of 20 to 30 companies. And they had a look through our work. And it's a full-on day. It's
by the end of the day, you've had it with talking.
But there's some really interesting kind of conversations you have, and just trying to work out why people choose illustration over photography, for example, and what styles of illustration, and also to kind of get a sense of what brands are after right now. And one of the key things that I took home from it is that brands, they really want to prove that they're working with real people. It's this kind of, I'm not bashing AI here, but a bit of an anti-AI movement where they want to do these projects with real people and then shout about the fact that it was made by a real person, and film them, put them on social media, that kind of thing. It was really nice to hear, actually.
Yeah, because you've always been very. You talked about when you were doing these early kind of GIF style animations of fax machines and technology and stuff. I think there was a Walkman. The little characters.
Yeah.
Where were you putting them out? They were on Behance?
Was it Dribble?
Or Dribble?
Oh, at first was on Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
if you remember.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I posted on Vimeo as well, and Behance. Then Dribble came.
And I think that's where we first came across you. But back then, and I think this is the case for a lot of illustrators, you were very much not putting yourself out there. Like your work was out there, but I remember just kind of Googling you, couldn't probably even find a picture.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think that's changed in the past 10 years? That you?
Oh, you see more faces, definitely. I guess people like to see the artist behind the works, but for me, I'm still a bit. I don't
Doesn't
show
come
my
naturally.
face that much. Yeah, I have this one interview on my Instagram, but I don't know. It feels a bit strange, but I know I should do it more.
But you've done a couple of talks. I was doing some
Yeah.
research last night. I saw a couple of talks.
Oh yeah, the conferences and all that. That I love really. Yeah. I had the opportunity to do these in New York, in Amsterdam, in Berlin.
And you've been tutoring as well?
Yeah, that's even more interesting actually because for in 2021 and last year I gave workshops in Armenia. I have Armenian roots.
Yeah, your dad?
Yeah. Actually, my granddad was born in Istanbul, so Armenian community, and then he had to flew away, obviously, because of the genocide. But he was born in 1902.
Oh, wow.
So at the time there were hangings, the deputies on the bridge of Istanbul. It was
Jesus.
different days.
Yeah.
And he came to Paris, and my dad was born here. But my dad was really interested when he was young to the Armenian community. But at the time, people when they were immigrating, they were just forgetting everything about the past and didn't pass along a lot of this cultural background. But we felt something was there, and when this.
So you knew about your Armenian roots, but you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't knew much, and when this university contacted me, I was really excited. It was in 2018, and I was not ready at the time, and then I felt I was ready, I contacted them again,
And did they know that you had Armenian?
Yeah, actually, they invite people from all over the world, but I realized that maybe half of them have Armenian roots.
Yeah.
And so I went there and I felt something like a link with the country, with the people. And even though I don't speak Armenian at all, I don't know, there was something, it was really interesting to be with those, it was students from 13 to 19 years old.
Yeah.
And so this is called Tumo Center, and they have centers everywhere in the world. But in Armenia, they have a lot, and they try to develop the country by teaching creative and technical and code, also stuff to students. Even in really remote villages in the mountains, they come with trucks full of Macs and all the softwares, and it's all free for all the students. And so when you go there to teach, you are not paid, but they pay you. They pay the apartment, the flights, and the per diem and all. And you just have those children in front of you, and they are so eager to learn. You are free to come up with the ideas you want. So
what did you teach on the last one?
Yeah, so for the first one, I came to Armenia with some Lego mini wheels, and there I asked them if they could buy like really classical basic Lego blocks. So all the students would create their own vehicle, car, or some would go with war machines, some other with ice cream trucks.
So they're making little models out of Lego.
Yeah.
Is this something that you used to do as a child as well?
Yeah. I have one here because I did it with my nephew, and then I recreated it in 3D.
Yeah.
And I made it move around, and I was, we should do that with the students.
That's really cool.
So for them, it was really easy to get, like, you have this one block brick and the two blocks,
Yeah.
and you recreated in Cinema 4D, and then you just assemble and put the right colors to the blocks and the wheels.
Amazing.
And then I used this tool inside of Cinema 4D when you can just use gravity and dynamics to make the whole object fall apart, and all the bricks will fall apart.
Yeah.
And you render these images, and you in After Effects you put it in reverse, and you have the impression that all the bricks are coming back together to form the vehicle, and then he would move around. So
Amazing.
they were so excited, the kids.
Yeah.
And it was a big success, so they called me back last year, and this time I used a plasticine, and so they would create monsters out of plasticine, like little creatures and all, and they had no rules, like they could do anything they wanted, because I found out a new technique on Blender where you could rig and then articulate your characters really easily. Like for the 3D designers, it's like a big nightmare, the character
Rigging,
animation,
yeah.
even rigging, it's terrible, but with those new tools on Blender, it became so easy. So I realized during the workshop that it was maybe a bit too advanced for 13 years old kids, but I helped them. So they created those monsters in plasticine, and then we scanned them with Polycam on the iPhone or Android, and you just scan the model, then you import it in Blender, you clean it, and then you rig and you animate, and they were like, wow, that's
So
crazy.
they see their creations come to life.
Moving and all.
Amazing.
And
Very
it's crazy, like in 2 weeks, how you can
Yeah.
So this is like a 2-week course.
and it's just in the mornings for 2 weeks, and the results were really great.
Yeah.
Just
If we're allowed to, we'd love to share some of the
of course,
kids' kids' work. When we put the podcast out, we'll share some of it.
So it brings really another dimension to your work when you're an illustrator, and you can just not show but teach. And I at first I didn't think I was like made for this, like, because I don't have a lot of patience, and actually it was. I love it. It's I love to do.
But
it
you
again.
get I guess you get that energy, that enthusiasm and energy from the kids.
Yeah.
Kind of, you soak that up, and
Of course, and they have crazy ideas. They are so cool, and some of them are better than me on Blender. So I learned also
really,
from
they're
them.
quick. And it's really interesting that you felt this relationship or kinship maybe with like Armenia, even though you hadn't been. Mm-hmm. So how did that kind of manifest? Was that like in the food or like?
It's hard to say, because at the same time I went with my girlfriend, and she's been asked to pose as a model with Armenian traditional clothes from a museum and all.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there was a vibe I could feel. Maybe it's I don't really know.
Like on a kind of energy, spiritual level.
Yeah,
like,
I feel just chill and good there in the
Yeah,
streets.
it's good. I mean, you have a connection to it.
Yeah.
So it would come naturally.
And then we went like on a road trip all the way to Georgia, and we went all around the countries in like those monasteries lost in the forest or in the desert. I don't know. You should go there.
It sounds amazing.
And there is no tourists. Like you're just.
And do you think you'll do more workshops?
Yeah, they want me to come. Like and they have also they want me to do one in Berlin. They have centers.
I was gonna say, I'd imagine you could tour with that.
Tour the world, yeah.
They just opened a new center in
sure,
Buenos
like,
Aires.
If you did the Lego one again, I'm sure. I know Lego get involved in a lot of those kind of.
We could host a little workshop in our space.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Oh, I love that. And if someone is listening to this, have some ideas, I would love to.
I think adults would love to do this as well. Like, we're talking about this for kids, but I think a little workshop where you get to build something and make it
Of course,
come
I
to
love
life.
that.
Just going back to your kind of early days in your career. So obviously buildings has been a huge. You've always illustrated buildings, made these 3D models. Your father was an architect.
Yeah, that's right.
Was that kind of a clear connection between the two, or is it just something you've always been drawn towards in terms of illustrating?
I think I realized it later, but yeah, of course, he was always at home on his big drawing table, drawing houses, and then I would watch him like draw the old-fashioned way. Like he didn't use a computer. He was just drawing everything with little plastic tools that you would draw the tables, the walls, all the faces of the. And then we would go to the construction site, and then we would see the people living inside the house for real. And I was just fascinated.
Yeah, so that I feel like that must have manifested in your brain.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And where was this? Where did you grow up?
It was in the west coast of France, in a village really like 100 meters from the beach. And then we moved to a village close to Nantes. And yeah, so he was always at home, and of course.
And did you start illustrating building? Because I know I've seen the buildings from. Is it Honfleur?
The what?
Honfleur.
Yeah, Honfleur. Yeah.
Great, good accent there, Tom.
Thank you. But yeah, do you illustrate? Like, do you see a building, kind of take a photograph of it, and then recreate it in 3D, or are you a bit like Lego, kind of creating these buildings from your imagination?
So it really depends if I want to go with something just imaginary, but most of the time it's based on photos I take on the road. For Honfleur, for example, I was in the little harbor, the port of Honfleur.
Lovely town if anyone wants to visit.
It's so cute. And I just took this picture. I recreated the buildings in my style, and then I added a boat that was not there. Like I took a picture of this boat somewhere else, and I do some compositions because sometimes it's not really working. The composition is not working well in the real world, so I have to change it a bit.
Because I've always had this thing, I don't know if I told you, but I will walk around now and I will see a building that looks like a Guillaume illustration. And I think I've sent you one or two. There's in Dulwich Park in London, there's the house in the entrance there that it just looks perfectly like something that you would illustrate.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I would have loved to.
Yeah, and then I love the fact that you add kind of like random elements, like a little bird on the roof. Isn't there one with an octopus that kind of consumes the building?
Oh yeah.
They're kind of quirky elements,
and the characters.
Yeah,
I noticed in your loo you've got a Richard Scarry.
Oh yeah,
poster.
I have a book of
Richard Scarry.
Yeah. I mean, was that something you grew up with?
This poster, was in my childhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's how you learnt to count.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But those it just struck me when I was looking at that, and it kind of reminded me because I loved those books as a kid.
But it's funny because in Berlin, someone came to me and said, "Oh, I love your work. It reminds me of Richard Scarry," and I didn't know it was that big. Also.
Oh no, I had Richard Scarry's picture dictionary on my bookshelf.
Yeah, but the idea is just to take I don't want to just recreate the reality and that's it. I always want to add some things that would, because otherwise it won't be that interesting, I guess.
But there's always a touch of humor and maybe a bit of dark humor in your work, like like Tom said, it's kind of based on reality. Like it'll look like a city, it's recognizable as a cityscape, but then there's a giant sausage or like an elephant in a hot air balloon or an octopus.
Yeah.
This is like that little twist.
This is what I like, and sometimes like I did a flooding in a that would cover the whole
the
city.
flood, so the city got flooded.
Yeah.
Like a disaster
flood,
movie.
sorry.
Yeah.
And some people reacted online like you shouldn't joke about it. It's so bad and all. So sometimes I'm doing things like I love to have a garbage truck in the streets where the garbage man would be how do you say?
Stealing? No.
Like would go inside of the truck and be
like squashed,
recycled.
Yeah, maybe. And sometimes I have ideas like this, and I'm like,
dark.
It's too dark. Maybe I shouldn't.
Okay.
I shouldn't. So I don't want my work to be too.
You need to go
dark.
back to Tumblr and make a
And the other thing you are obsessed with is the crazy little vehicles you see at an airport.
Yeah.
And now every time I'm at an airport, we were at the airport recently and I was with my kids and my girlfriend, and there's this little truck went past, and we were like trying to work out what this little vehicle did. It had like a really weird shape, and
Oh yeah.
but you always, whenever you see them, you photograph them and then recreate them and draw them.
Of
Is that
course,
the
I
ones
know.
that move the aeroplane?
You know, they move
Big
some of them
wheels?
move the aeroplane.
Yeah.
Some of them are like, for putting the luggage
Do you know that
on.
they use those in RoboCop for the futuristic cars?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Some of them look like really racing cars,
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
with the wheels like bigger than the whole vehicles. Like, yeah, I love them.
And the dinky little fire engine.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
You can see in the Gare Montparnasse like those tiny fire trucks.
What are they for? Just very small fires.
Yes, probably like garbage fire or something.
But so, and over the years, we've had brands come along, and obviously they've said, okay, we don't just want one building, we want a cityscape. How does that? How long does it take to create those incredibly detailed cityscapes? Because I'll be honest, as I say, I've worked with you a long time. The speed that you send things back, it just seems super quick.
Yeah, because I'm anxious and I'm
Oh,
obsessed, and I just wake up and I just got to go directly to work. I just have a drink of water and just work
you're
until it's done.
So you work from home. You don't
Yeah,
have a
I work from
studio.
home.
So
I
this is-
tried, but it takes too much time for me to take a shower, go there. It's always too far, and just here I'm so efficient, and that's it.
So we should describe this. So we're in your apartment right now.
Yes.
Which is really lovely.
Thanks.
How
So
many-
bright and
Yeah,
light.
5th floor. How many? Do you know how many stairs there were to climb?
Oh no, I don't know that.
Oh,
I'm guessing 70.
It was
Oh,
it was a
more.
long way up with the big portfolio suitcase.
Oh yeah.
And you've done some work here, right? You knocked down a couple of walls and reconfigured the space.
Yeah. I bought this small flat and I changed everything, and now I really love it because you can go around and there is lights everywhere.
It's
And
lovely
I
light.
created this like double kitchen with the living room and with my little desk there. And I always try to have my desk near a window, so
Yeah,
sometimes I just rest my eyes and look at the window, look at people, at birds. There are trees also everywhere, so during the spring it's like just you're in the forest inside in the middle of Paris.
And it's a really cool neighborhood.
Yeah, I love it. Sometimes it gets a bit lonely to work just
Yeah.
alone all day. So sometimes, like 2 days ago, one of my friend came along and we worked here all day together. Just listening to music, podcasts, and be with someone can be a relief sometimes, because after maybe 12 years of working alone.
Yeah.
But it's
What-
also okay because I'm efficient, and then I just jump on my friends at night and just.
So what kind of hours are you somebody who's do you keep quite traditional hours? You wake up in the morning, go to work,
Yeah.
and then do you look at the clock, or do you just work until you've done the work, you know?
Because I noticed that years passing, I'm waking up earlier and
Yeah,
earlier.
welcome to the club.
So I don't know. I wake up at it depends really on how stressed I am. But yeah, I work in the morning. I don't take shower in the morning when I have illustration jobs. Anyway, I just work, have really quick lunch, like 30 minutes spam, and then back at it. And around, I don't know, 5, I would take a shower, and
Yeah.
then
And then you're done.
Then I could work more, and then I'm just grabbing a drink.
Yeah.
And
Too
this
many
is-
drinks.
This has kind of been the way since university, right? Since you finished your education, you've never had a kind of a job.
Yeah, no. But that's also something I think it's important to talk about. It's been the case for a lot of illustrators around me for the past few, because we are in March 2026, and the past few months have been a bit rough for a lot of illustrators out there. I know it's been the case in France, but also in Germany. Also, you told me in the UK, and in Europe anyway, and in the world in general, because of AI, because of the conflicts, the economical troubles and all. And I guess a lot of people I know have had to rethink their life entirely, because and because you just realize that you have to find money,
Yeah,
and
of course.
it didn't, like, for me, I didn't dream of this job when I was a kid, and even for years I didn't realize. It took me years to just admit that I became an illustrator. And
That's a good quote. It took me years to admit.
Oh, yeah. And then I was like, okay, that's my job, and it's going great, and it's crazy. I work for companies all over the world, and agencies and all. For 10 years it was like this. And then last year it began to slow down a bit, because also people can get tired of my style. I don't know, there are also reasons that I could be responsible for, but then I realized that it was a more general thing. And so after first months it stopped, the contract kind of stopped in the end of last summer. And for the first months, you're like, oh yeah, it's just the usual thing. It's always coming in waves,
Yeah.
After 2 months, I was like, okay, well, it's a bit annoying, but it will come back. And I started to, I rebuilt my website completely. And I started to explore different styles, new things that I would post online. I did a lot of these. And I did all the things that I pushed away for years. I could do them, so it was also really interesting time. But then I thought 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and I was like, oh, that's not cool.
Yeah, and it's the perils of a freelance life.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, illustration jobs came back,
Yeah.
like 6 of them.
Yeah, it's like someone turned the tap on. We've found the same in the past
Oh yeah.
couple of months.
It's really strange. I mean, not just illustrators, like any I used to freelance as a graphic designer a long time ago now, but it's a very strange kind of feeling. Not you always expect work's going to be there, but it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
But speaking specifically with Handsome Frank artists, it's the same thing. Like, some people are lucky enough to be consistently busy all the time. I think you've had a very good run of that. And others are more, busy, quiet. And they've managed to kind of sustain that for a long time. But that career longevity as an artist is a tricky one psychologically, because you do have to kind of battle with that.
Yeah.
What's around the corner all the time.
And for a lot of people also it won't come back. I mean, some people would be replaced by AI, or just it's not good enough. I don't know. It's not trendy enough.
I think the AI situation is that, it was very much the new toy, and it was very much like just on everybody was talking about it. Everybody wanted to have a go at it. I think brands were saying to their agencies, "Can we use AI?"
As people were with NFTs.
As with any new development. And, I think we went through a cycle where 6 months briefs were, people were trying things in AI, but actually quite often they were coming to us and saying, look, we've been trying to do this thing in AI. It hasn't really worked. Can an illustrator jump on this and do it properly?
So you're not too worried about it?
No, I mean, look, it comes in cycles, but what we're seeing now is, and this is a lot of the conversations we had yesterday, we're in Paris, we met with a lot of luxury brands yesterday, and I think if you're a luxury brand and you're trying to show those brand qualities of, being premium and heritage and quality, you've got to kind of show that in your advertising and your branding. And one way to do that is to work with a real artist and work with somebody and, show their process. And this was another big theme of yesterday, was how can we work with an artist and how can we tell their story? How can we collaborate with them, use their name, photograph them, show behind the scenes footage?
Yeah, it became more important.
It becomes so much more important.
But also, I heard this kind of speech about luxury brands, but not everybody will work for luxury brands.
No, that's true.
And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's not that reassuring actually, concretely for me. But then I this past few weeks I realized that also it's also the case for like more traditional brands or more classical. Like I started a new project a few days ago, and we did this call. It's an American client a lot of people during the call, and they said, okay, so we want this bridge with cars, but for this first illustration, we are really in a rush. So for the cars, just do them like AI style. We don't worry. Just
What does that mean?
it meant like
Quick and cheap and
yeah,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But for them, it was they already processed the
part of
information
their
that
mindset.
AI won't have personality.
Yeah, won't
So
be
I was
permanent.
really pleased to hear that for the first time. Like we already passed to another stage where AI is just
A filler.
Yeah.
yeah. But obviously you had that quiet time, and I know you went away and you tried around some different styles.
yeah.
But there was one piece of work you did that I think is the most liked bit of work we've posted on Hans and Frank for quite a while. I'm trying to find it. The little
Is it the illustration of you and I?
No, it's not actually, Tom. No, it's this one.
yeah.
So I'll just describe this. Well, you describe it, Guillaume.
This is like a block that could be in New York City. It's made of a lot of distorted buildings with the metro passing in the middle, and there is a black and white and a really colorful version. And it's also mixed because it's a collaboration with a French artist from Nantes as well that created the original drawing, and I recreated the.
Oh, so you made his drawing come to life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So this-
then he added this graffiti and signs, all hand drawn that I put on After Effects on the layer after, and all those little details and this 2D kind of style with outlines created something new that I didn't.
I loved it, and like we posted this, we've had nearly 10,000 likes.
Yeah, it's
I mean, how
crazy.
many have you had?
I have like 500,000 views and
Insane.
like 40.
But no one can say why that particular
Because
piece.
I have like 36,000 likes.
Yeah.
Of course, I never had a post like this, but there is the post. There are two versions, and then there is the whole process behind. There is the drawing original, and then all the steps that
I think people love to see that with 3D work,
yeah,
and because people just don't understand it. You know, they're like, how is it made?
yeah, that's right.
And I love that you've been able to kind of render it in different styles as well.
Mhm.
And that's the great thing. It kind of exists throughout all of your work, but once you've made that 3D model, you can change the texture, you can change the lighting, and kind of create different sub-styles. And in your portfolio, you've got quite a few different kind of styles and techniques.
Yes, it was a conversation that we had because when I had those troubled times, I started to explore new.
Which is the
Render.
key to a long career.
Yeah,
in
but at the
illustration.
same time, you told me, and my agent in France also told me you should have enough of images of this style to pretend that it's a new style that you can work with. And
that's what we all. Yeah, you can't just do one piece.
yeah, because
in
you
a
can
new
also
style.
confuse clients and your image,
Yes.
and you're like, sometimes it's hard to go to full different styles. So I'm trying to do this in between, but.
But I think it's because as an artist, while you know your style, it took you a long time to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think when someone tries something new, they just expect to magically, leap into this new style straight
Yeah.
away. And it takes time. Like there's an evolution to it.
Yeah,
But I think as long as you're creating more than one illustration in that style, then it works. And I think
Mhm.
clients get it. And someone asked us about this.
Yeah. Shall I read the question?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we did ask for some questions on social media for you. Louise.
nice.
Yeah, Louise Nothing. No, sorry, Louise Nothing. Sorry, Louise. Your question on Instagram.
You're not nothing.
My question is directed towards his style and expertise. Guillaume has a range of different stylistic approaches, depending on the project. How does he balance his interest in different styles? And does this affect a client's decision to book him?
As for the client's decision, I'm not sure. But for the style, it depends. Sometimes the style comes from me. I create pieces, and the client want this style, like this Coco event animation we did recently. It was they wanted me to recreate this New York building animation. I never did that for a client before, so in that case it came in that direction. But sometimes the clients have references, and I'm like, oh, what want me to do that. It's not my style. But then I realized like that it's quite interesting sometimes to try different things, and also to have like characters, for example, inside of my illustration. At first, I didn't have any characters, or they were just really really simple, stickman. But then clients, of course, they need human figures, they need some human feeling. So along the years, I created characters for them, and now it became part of my style as well. And then I could get tired of my style after 10 years, even if it evolves quite a bit along the years. It's more detailed, more intentional and all. But also I got tired, and I love to explore new directions as well. And then if the clients want it, it's just like success.
Have you ever played the video game Gang Beasts?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Oh, yeah.
It's little stick men living in a 3D world, but you have to kind of fight each other. But it really reminds me of your world.
Oh yeah, because I think video games are a big part of my inspiration.
Yeah,
I played a lot, not anymore, but I played a lot.
I can see a PS4 down here.
Oh yeah, it's hidden now.
Retired.
But I played a lot, and it of course it inspired my illustration. But like SimCity.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. God, SimCity. Civilization, did you ever play this?
Not really. Age of Empires.
Yeah, Age of Empires.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. And all of them. I played everything when I was a teenager. So many hours of my life, instead of doing sports, I was doing this.
It's funny, isn't it? And you look back and you think, why? That was just a lot of time.
Yeah,
I spent.
so much time.
I never ever had a games console.
Oh, really?
Never.
Your parents probably helped you out there, Tom.
Yeah, I was out doing sport all the time. Not.
And your kids?
No, well, they're not interested. Actually, we do have a Switch, but there's not much interest there.
Okay.
Another question from social media. Any advice for a 2D illustrator who wants to explore 3D animation?
It depends if they already do 2D animation. But first, you should do 3D illustration and then animate, I guess.
Animate it.
But it's really easy to pass from... when you're in the 3D world, it's really easier to get your pieces animated rather than in 2D. It's a complete different process, because you have to do... if you do traditional animation, you have to do all the steps, all the frames, hand by hand, one by one. If you use After Effects, or if you do the animation in the 3D world, you just put the keyframe, like the cube is at frame 1 here and frame 10 there, and all the frames in between will be created automatically. But the advice for me would be to just download Blender, because it's free, and start this famous donut tutorial, and in a few weeks you would be able to do something. And at first you will feel overwhelmed by the software, as we mentioned before, but then you will see through the lines,
have a moment of clarity.
Yeah. And then it's so pleasant when you have something in mind and you manage to create it, and you'll see it's not that hard if you keep the motivation going.
That's great advice.
Going back to our original conversation in 2015, which, as we mentioned, did go on for quite a while. There was a confession that you made. I'll read it out. Another thing, more like a personal stress. I don't have any licenses for the software I use. It got me thinking, like, that kind of cracked software in your early part of your career was actually really important. And I feel like now that it's got this kind of paywall, it's almost like this barrier to entry within the industry.
Yeah, that's right. It's so cute when we look back at it.
Because I mean, to buy Cinema 4D, I mean, is it hundreds or thousands?
It's
3D Studio Max
800 euros a year.
Yeah. So
Something
then
like
you've got this question from someone who I'm assuming is early on in their career, saying, "How can I get into 3D?"
Mm-hmm.
But then they've got this huge paywall that they've got to pay just to kind of start.
Is it worth it to spend all that money on something I'm not even sure to like?
I don't even know how to use. It's like buying a machine you don't know how to use.
It got me thinking that there's a huge generation of people that would have used this, learnt this software, and inspired, created a whole industry out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I do wonder now about young people and this kind of how are they going to get into it?
Or you can now find free alternatives that works. Like for Illustrator, you can start on Figma, and even if it's not the same, it's for Adobe. It's a bit hard, but there are some solutions, I guess. And for the 3D, you just go for Blender, and then if you see that you like it and you want to spend more time, you have some students subscription. But that's right, that's a new thing.
Still got to pay.
Yeah. And I remember when after a few years when I started and it worked, I got my Adobe license paid by Adobe.
Wow.
Yeah. And same for Cinema 4D. I was like, oh, that's an achievement.
Just for the record, we do now pay for all of our software at Hanson.
Yeah, me as well.
and yeah, like when the first time I did legitimately pay for it, I felt like a proper grown up.
You probably felt like, it's time to pay my dues.
Yeah, and that and Microsoft Office as well. I was like, yeah, this is it.
It can be a struggle for young people. That's right. It's the same for like buying a film online. Before I was always just cracking everything.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
We made a film with you a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
How was that? I love that film.
A little film about.
Oh, it was such a great experiment. Thanks again.
With
I'm
Johnny.
just so embarrassed when I look at it.
You don't like watching it?
Everyone is.
Yeah.
Like even let's say the photograph. I took a photograph of Helen Musselwhite the other week on a shoot. She says to me, "I hate you taking my photograph, but I have to." I have to stop my brain and just let it happen because it's worthwhile. And like same with filming, it's so hard to be in front of the lens.
Of course, but also what I say, it's so cliche, so and yeah, I don't know. I would love to do it today to see the difference, but it was so cool to have this team and to go around France and do those. And there was my illustration in the metro of Paris at the same time. So
yeah, that's timings cool. We'll share a link to this.
So Johnny, the guy that made the film, Johnny Morg, who's actually a guy I live with at uni.
Yeah, love that guy.
He so you went around a lot of the kind of famous. Was it like a housing estate? I don't know how you call it in France, but quite famous architecture.
Yeah,
not like the Eiffel Tower, but how do you describe it? Like the building blocks and
which I don't.
So there was different. Was it housing estates that he went to? There's one that's very symmetrical, and I think they're in quite dodgy parts of Paris.
Yeah, I remember that because I was kind of obsessed by brutalist architecture.
It's brutalist,
yeah.
And there are some buildings that became like just big housing blocks, and that can be a bit strange and scary at first.
So he actually got chased out of one.
Oh yeah,
because he went before and he was doing some research.
Yeah, that's right.
And they chased him and they threw something at him.
Oh really?
Yeah. And it's just the most French thing they could have thrown. They threw a baguette at him.
No.
I wish someone had caught that on camera. It was a bit of B-roll.
It's my baguette.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to places that not everybody knew about, like hidden places of Paris.
It's good to know about where your inspiration comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have said at the beginning, but I'm terrible at intros. But your client list: Lyft, Garnier, Boston Globe, GE Appliances, McKinsey, The Telegraph, Eon, NHL. And it's the French, No More Nails. It's the French version of No More Nails, which you stick things to the wall. I don't know why, but that project really, because I'm into DIY, you're into DIY.
Mm-hmm.
Have you used that product to stick things to your wall?
Yeah, actually I did. And the other day I was in a friend's workshop, like he's working wood, and I'm so obsessed with his work. So I went there just to see how he was working. He was using the products with my illustration.
Nice.
Oh, so it's on the packaging.
It's on all the packaging in all Leroy Merlin, all the DIY shops, and my mom also has all the.
Oh, that's sweet. What's the project that you are most proud of? That kind of you see as
proud of. This is kind of, because it's not my best illustration. I'm just happy that they're out there. But proud of, maybe I could tell you about these guys because I wanted to talk about it and I didn't yet. And I think that's the project I'm the most proud of, and it's also the newest one.
Okay.
So I've been working in advertising for all these years, and it's really exciting. And I do this animation on the side, but it's cool. It's smiley. It's really satisfying to see. But it can disappear quickly from your brain because it's just little loops, like funny and all. But I always had this thing, like I wanted to do something a bit deeper and more profound, and I wanted to make people cry and feel actual things. So during these months of when I didn't have that much work, I had the time to work on this side project that is a 2D animated series about love. And it's a complete different new style than what I usually do, because I didn't want to be stuck in this style that I had for forever. And so the idea is to film people that would talk about love. I started with some friends, really cliche in Paris, who are drinking beers in a cafe, in a bistro, and talking about all kinds of love. Someone is just in a new relationship and so excited. The other, she's starting an open relationship. The other one is a eternal single guy.
So these
about love.
like scripted, or are these real conversations?
No, it's just real conversation. It's a documentary series.
Yeah.
And then I would redraw all the frames. So I do an editing of this 1 hour conversation. I would do a 5-minute video. And then I use this huge screen tablet that you drew on, and I redrew all the frames, like 1 frame out of 4. So it took forever.
Yeah.
It takes forever. And then you see all the faces, the characters come to life.
Amazing.
And the idea now is to find all kinds of people to talk about their life, their love life.
Yeah.
And I already did it with my father, who is in a relationship for 1 year now, and he's 83 years old, and his girlfriend, she's the same age, and they are so cute. They're like texting, "Oh, I miss you. When are we going to see each other?" And she's even making some dodgy comments sometimes,
Oh, really?
like, "Oh wow." The other day I was just meeting her for the first time. We are having lunch, and then I had to go, and I said, "Okay, guys, I'm leaving," and she said, "Okay, so we will take a nap." I mean, a nap. I was like, "What?"
Oh wow.
I don't want to know about it. And at the same time, I was like, "Wow, 83! Wow,
Well
that's
done.
really."
Yeah, well
and
done.
it really inspired when I tell these stories to my friends. They are just. They are like 30, 35 years old, in despair. I will never find love and all. And that guy is 83 and is finding it. So it's really inspiring. So that kind of stories, and also sad stories, also stories of people, of immigrants, or people that are so rich, or people so poor, all kinds of ages, also kids, what do they think about love, or...
So, and what are you going to do with these? Are you going to try and...
So I already found a production company, and we in January we earned this fund from the government, from the CNC. So we are getting there. We are trying to find a broadcast channel, probably with Arte if we succeed. So this is the first time I'm also a director on something, and so I'm really excited about this.
You seem really inspired.
Oh,
it's really good to see.
Yeah. I was also the brother of a friend. He's like disabled, but like myopath. I don't know. It's really hard. His life is just, he cannot do anything by himself, and he agreed to tell me about love because he cannot experience love like we do. And maybe we'll talk about the love for his family, or the love, and that's the idea, to see all kinds of love. Also, I have a nephew that is really into religion. He's 18 years old, and he's like, no alcohol, no sex, nothing, and just I'm fascinated to see what he has to say, and he agreed to testify also.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see these. Yeah.
I think this just like you've always been that creative person. This creativity exists within you, and it has to come out in one channel or another.
Maybe,
And you're a really
Which is
good
good.
photographer as well.
Yeah.
Your photography is amazing.
Oh yeah, you like it.
You've always shot with film, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can
I
see
have
my Nikon.
my dad old Nikon F
The
401 behind you.
Yeah.
I love to, but I just photograph
proper,
people.
like, 90s
Yeah.
film camera.
But whenever because you have a different Instagram account for your photographs.
Yes.
Whenever I see the photographs you've taken of your mates,
A bit later.
yeah, it's like, oh, why did I not take?
Oh no, I thought you'll get the digital photos of, I don't know, you in Morocco, for example, and then a month later you get the film ones.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah.
Because we're so
it's
used to
funny.
this kind of instant, where
Yeah, of
you just
course.
post where you are. But obviously, film, you got to get it developed.
Mhm.
Yes, you get that kind of delay.
You
which is nice.
do you take film photograph also?
I don't know.
Well, you've got Polaroid.
I've got a Polaroid. I've got an Instamax.
But
and
you take photos in digital.
Yeah, I went through a phase of shooting stuff on a Holga and on I had a Lomo for a bit,
Oh yeah.
but I haven't shot with film for a while. I've got a digital camera that I love.
I used to work with a guy who used to lend me his Mamiya 645 medium
Ah, yeah.
format film camera. Even then, it was £2 a photograph.
Yeah.
And you'd get 10 shots on a roll of film. But it's weird because there's I took a roll of film of Frank, and I took a roll of film of my daughter one day in the garden, and I have thousands of digital photographs of my children, of Frank as well. Whenever I'd go and visit Frank, I would always take photographs of him. But for some reason, it's that film, those 10 shots, that I really appreciate and like.
It doesn't surprise me
Because it's
so different.
I don't know, real. And like, we just made a book, a Handsome Frank book, 250 pages. It opens with a photograph of Frank, and it was that film one shot on on the Mamiya. And that was always the photograph that I go to. And I don't know why. There's just this thing about the fact that it's real.
It's tactile. It's real, of course.
Yeah.
And you said you were a bit disappointed you didn't take pictures of your friends before.
I just wish. I mean, I do take photos now, but I wish I'd taken more photographs when we were growing up. I mean, because camera phones weren't a thing, and I just didn't. And I wish I had more photographs of us growing up.
Yeah.
I have, of my 4 years at uni, there are genuinely 10 photographs.
It's crazy.
It's mad.
I always had this feeling like my memory is not that good. So since 2006, I guess, I started to film my friends all the time.
Yeah,
and there
I
is
love it.
this public thing, but I have also tons of editing. Like I have 120 for all these years since middle school, and you see all my friends growing up. And
really cool.
for a friend's wedding recently, I did this. It's like
Oh,
a
nice.
full length movie of him from 20 years of his life, like
Amazing.
growing up.
Yeah,
And because I have this fear of losing
Yeah.
those moments, so I it's a bit less like this these days, but I want to film all the time.
A friend of mine found recently some video footage of his 18th birthday, which is hilarious to watch because we're all in it. But what we realised is at the end of this video, his mum and dad kind of come in, and they were younger then than we are now, which is just like a crazy realisation.
Yeah, we're old.
But yeah, it's really lovely to see. It's so precious. It's so important to capture stuff.
Yeah, really.
I think that brings it to an end. It's
Yeah,
been a really nice conversation. I've always meet with you when I come to Paris. We happened to meet in Morocco last year.
Yeah,
which was
that's
great.
right.
It's always a nice chat to have.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love to continue, but next time.
Yeah,
beer,
we got trains and planes to catch now.
yeah.
Thank you, Guillaume. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that again.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And if you'd like to know more about Handsome Frank and our artists, check out our website, handsomefrank.com.
Thanks very much for listening.
Handsome Frank.